Hey everyone, it's Arcburnt. I'm here today to actually redo a tutorial. I want to kind of go back through and clarify a few things. After rewatching, I wasn't happy with one of the tutorials that I did, so I figured I'm just going to flat out redo it. We're going to make a multiplayer Minecraft server. So you can host your own games that your friends can join in and play in your world with you. It's actually pretty easy to do. It's just difficult to find the right instructions. And depending on your computer and configuration, there's a lot of different issues that you can run into. I'm going to try to cover most of the issues because I think that I've ended up having most of them happen to me at some point. So let's get started. The first thing that we want to do is we want to go to minecraft.net and get us off of this page here just so we're on the home screen. Now I'm assuming that you've already purchased the game because that is definitely a requirement. So have the game bought and downloaded, and what we need to do is go to this link right here, download it here. Now this is where you would have downloaded the game when you originally purchased it. What we want is right here, multiplayer server. Now since we're running on a Mac, by the way, if you are a Windows person, just run away screaming because I cannot help you. I do not know anything about Windows. This tutorial is strictly for Mac operating system. This file right here is for Windows users. This is an exe file, so it's an execute. For Mac, we want a jar file. So we're looking for this right here, Microsoft Server 1.8.1. So go ahead and click on that. We'll download that. Get it in our Finder. We're just going to drag it off onto the desktop. And what we want to do is we want to make a folder, and I'm just going to name it Minecraft Server. We're going to take our jar file, drag it in, go ahead and open that up. Now what we need to do is go back to the Minecraft website, and this link right here for the wiki article, we want to click on that. Now this is going to take us to the tutorials, setting up a server. These instructions are worthless. No offense to Minecraft, I love the game, I love everything that they've done, but you can't set up a server going by these instructions. The top is for Windows users, so we need to scroll down to Mac OS instructions. So like I said, don't pay any attention to the actual instructions here. What we need on this page is just a little bit of code. We need that code there and this code here. So let's start off. We're going to highlight this code, Command C to copy. Let's minimize this. Now what we want to do is let's go up to your Spotlight, type in the word text to bring up text edit. Now here's the most important step for the text edit is go up to format, and we want to make this plain text. Command V, that will paste what we just copied off of Minecraft.net. Now the most important thing is the server name, this file name, 1.8.1.jar. We need to match that file name over here because basically we're going to put this into our terminal, and this is going to execute our Minecraft server file, and I will show you how to do that right now. So we have Minecraft server .1.8.1. So we're going to come over here, Minecraft server .1.8.1.jar. We want to make sure this up to the jar is absolutely identical to this over here. Now another thing in this window right here in our text edit, this XMS1G, this is actually how much memory is going to be allocated to your game. It defaults at 1 gig. So depending on the size of your computer, if you're on a laptop, I would say one gig would be fine. I'm on a MacBook Pro with 8 gigs of 8 gigs of RAM. So usually what I do is I jump mine up to 3. So I'm just going to leave it at 1 gig for right now. The most important thing is never make this number bigger than how much memory you have in your computer. If you don't know how much memory you have, go over to the Apple, click About This Mac, and it tells you memory 8 gigs. So then we definitely don't want to go over 8 gigs with this number right here, because your computer still needs to run, Minecraft needs to run, that all takes memory in order to do that. So it's kind of a number to play around with. I would say the average for most people, if they're running 8 gigs like I am, they're probably going to allocate 2 to 3 gigs of memory to the game. So if you do change it, you have to change both. We'll go ahead and do how I have mine set up. I have 3 gigs, come over here, 3 gigs, and we're good to go. So now we hit Command S. Now, when we save this file, we have to save it as a start.command file. So start.command save. Now, I always just save everything on the desktop. So we take this, we've got this shell file now. What we need to do is open up our terminal and make this command, this file over here. And we do that using the terminal. So go back to the Spotlight, type in term, that brings up terminal. So now we're in our terminal. So what we need to do now, back over to our Minecraft.net, is this little snippet of code right here, chmod a+x. So go ahead and copy that. I'm going to minimize this. Now, that's what we want to type in our terminal, exactly how you saw it. I don't know if you can even paste into the terminal. Let's try it real quick. Paste. Yes, you can. You want to make sure that you hit space, because you want to have a space right after your X. So what you do now is we take our shell file, we drag it right into the terminal, hit enter. Now if we did it correctly, nothing should happen. It just went right back to waiting for me to do another command. So that actually works out perfect. So we're done with our terminal, we close that out. We're done with our text edit, we can close that out. What we do now is we can take our shell command file, drop it into our server file, and double click it. Now that's going to open up our terminal again, and you're going to see it do a couple of things. Now, for a majority of the people that are going to do this, it's going to stop right here. A lot of people couldn't figure out why the heck it was stopping right there. Now, this is what you need to do. The reason why it stopped is because of this EULA text. You can see, let's see, where is it? You need to agree to the EULA in order to run the server. So what we need to do is go up to the EULA text file. We're going to open it with text edit. Now, this is what actually stopped the whole process right here. EULA equals false. Now what we need to do is, by changing the setting below to true, you are indicating your agreement to our EULA. Honestly, I don't even know what the EULA is. It's something that you have to agree to. If you don't, you can't play the game. So I just go ahead and do it. If you want to find out everything, here's a website that you can go to and it explains everything. So let's go ahead and type true. Command S to save. And that's good. So we're going to close that out. Now we're going to take the shell file we created. We're going to double click it again. Now that we've accepted the EULA agreement, we should see this folder start populating with even more folders, just like that. That's exactly what we wanted to have happen. So this is working perfect. So down here, this is everything, all of our new files being created and all that kind of fun stuff. And so what we're waiting for is this right here, done. So basically we have our server. Now that it's done, we can go ahead and click that, and to start our server we double click the jar file. Now it's going to always, the first time it's going to ask you to ensure you want to open it. Of course we want to open it, we just created it. So we click open. Gotta give it a second to kind of do its thing here. Okay, here's our server starting up right now. And just like in our terminal window, we're waiting for it to say done. So now we've officially made our Minecraft multiplayer server. However, your friends cannot play on this server until you port forward your IP address. I have a tutorial on that as well, but I'm going to include it in here. So for port forwarding, this has to do with actually getting into your router settings. This is going to basically open up your router to allow your friends to get onto your computer, and that's how they're going to be able to get into your Minecraft server. So we're just going to put this up here. We'll keep the server running for right now. Now in order to port forward, what you need to do is, we'll go up to the Apple. You need to go to System Preferences. Now in the System Preferences, we go to Network. Now normally all of your info is down here. Everything's kind of changed a little bit depending on what operating system you're using, but the number that we're looking for is our router IP. So we're going to click on Advanced, go to TCP IP, and like I said, this might be in a different area of your computer depending on which Mac version you're running, but you're looking for this number right here, router. I'm on Comcast Xfinity, which pretty much holds a monopoly in this area, so I think a majority of the people are going to be using the same router as well. So you find your router number, which is 10.0.0.1. So we got to remember that number. What we're going to do is open up our browser, and we're just going to type that into the browser window, 10.0.0.1. Hit enter. That takes me to my Xfinity login. Now this is different than the login that I would use to pay my bill or to go on demand or something like that. This is strictly just a router login. Every single Xfinity/Comcast customer, this username and password default at admin, and the password is simply password, unless your Comcast guy changed it or you had it changed. That's the only way that it's going to be different. Go ahead and hit login. Now here's our cPanel for our router, and we need to go down to advanced. Now right here you can see port forwarding. Now I've already got mine set up, but we'll go ahead and kind of pretend that I don't have it already set up. So you would add service. I'm just going to edit. Add service is going to still bring up this window, but I just hit edit. For services name, make sure it's clicked on other. And here I just named it Minecraft, so I knew that it was my Minecraft server. Service type, there's always going to be a TCP or a UDP. You want both. In some versions, the word both is actually right here. Okay, so now that we've got this set to both, now what we need is our server IP address. Now the server IP address is different than our router IP. The number that we put up here isn't the same number that we're going to put in here. So we need to go back to our system preferences, and we're it says IPv4 address. That is the server IP address that we need, which for me is 10.0.0.8. So we type in 10.0.0.8. Now for start port and end port, this is always going to be the same number for every single Minecraft user. This is just the default number that they use is 25565. So that's the start port and the end port, and you would click save. I'm going to just click cancel because mine's already taken care of. But once you click save, make sure that it's enabled. You have port forwarded your router. Now your friends have the ability to get into your Minecraft world. Sort of. Now you need to find your internet IP address. And so the way that we do that is we open up a new window and we go to whatsmyip.org. Now at the top gives us our string of numbers right here. This is my internet IP address. This is the number that I'm going to give to my friends in order for them to play on my router. And you'll see later in the tutorial exactly what your friends are going to need to do if you don't already know. One important thing is with this IP address number, make sure you write this down, and at the same time keep this number in mind as well, this 25565, because you're going to need that. When your friends log into their Minecraft, when they join your server, they're going to type in this number and then do a colon and then 25565. That's how they know what port that they need to go into. So we've got that all taken care of. Alright, I think that's everything for right now, so we can go ahead and close out our network preferences. Our server is up and running. So now all we need to do is open Minecraft. And we'll let this do its thing, and just to show you, if you go into server properties, I'm going to go ahead and open this with TextEdit. You don't need to do this. I'm just doing this just for visual reference, just so you see. We're going to open this up with TextEdit. This is actually where you find your port number. There's our server port right there. So here's that number that I was telling you about, 25565. So, but this number, like I said before, is the same for everybody, so you don't need to go into your server properties. I just wanted to show you. Alright, so now we have Minecraft open. Go ahead and hit play. Now when we go into the server, there's actually 3 issues that I have run into. I'm going to cover all 3 of them, just in case you're one of those unlucky people that came across one of these 3. So, for you to get into your game, you're going to go to multiplayer. We're going to add a server. You can name this whatever you want. I'm just going to keep it at default, Minecraft server. Now for the server address, it's the same number that we put in for our port forwarding address. So we're going to put in, for my computer anyway, your number is going to be different, 10.0.0.8. So that is my address. I click done, and you can see right here that I have a full strength, full signal. There's 0 out of 20 people in this particular world right now because I just created it. Now if I click on it, click play, it should spawn us into a brand new world. However, our friends still can't play with us. So what we need to do is, I'm going to go ahead and we'll just minimize this. I won't exit out of it. What we need to do is give your friends that IP number where you typed in whatsmyip.org. Oh, here's one of the issues we just ran into. Connection lost, timed out. Back to title screen. Go back to the title screen. So now I don't know the reasons why I timed out. All I know is that I did, and I scrubbed the internet for hours trying to figure out what was going on. Could not figure out what the issue was. So if this happens to you, if you time out, don't bother trying to fix it. Go to Direct Connect, localhost, whatever server you have running. I could have 20 different servers, but I can only run one at the same time. This is the server that we have running. So on localhost, I'm going to click Join Server. This just dropped us back into the exact same world. This one I'm not going to time out on. This is going to be fine now for the rest of the time. So I'm good now. So let's go back down. We'll kind of minimize this. We still have one more issue, a third issue that you could run into, which is when I'm going to just go ahead and disconnect. When you go into the multiplayer, a lot of the tutorials, they're telling you when to in the server address to actually put in your IP that you got from the whatsmyip.org. If you do that, it doesn't work. You're going to get an error. So you either have to use this address or the local host. I have to use localhost. Like I said, I don't know why I time out all the time. So we'll just going to click cancel on that. So remember, for the person that's hosting, you're going to go to Direct Connect. It'll always default at localhost, so don't change this and just click Join Server. Okay, so we've got that all taken care of. Now, we're going to pretend I'm one of my friends that wants to play on my server. We hit cancel, you get off of that page. Okay, so now I'm one of Arkburn's friends. I want to play a game on the same server as Arkburn. He sent me this string of numbers, so I'm going to go to multiplayer. I'm going to go to add server. Doesn't matter what the name is. Now what I'm going to do is add that string of numbers that we got from our friend. Okay, so that is the entire IP address. So what we need to do is we also need to include that port number. So do :25565. That is that default port number that I was telling you about for Minecraft. And then you click Done. I'm not going to click Done just because I don't want to jump into my own server. I don't know if that'll do anything weird to it or not. But as soon as you click Done, yeah, let's go ahead and click it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so this is the server right here. It's just going to act funny because I'm pretending to be a friend on my own server. But this is what's going to come up. They're going to hit play, and all of a sudden they will spawn into my world. Okay, so it just popped up as cannot connect to server, and that's because I'm trying to multiplay in my own server, so that's the only reason that came up. So as long as you follow those instructions, you shouldn't have any issues, and have fun playing with your friends. I hope this tutorial helped you. If it did, definitely give me a like, subscribe to the channel. I'd be more than happy to help out with any requests anybody has. If anybody has any issues, just send me a message and I'll be more than happy to help you out. So I will see you guys next tutorial.